This is Will Howard's. I don't really know if anyone can still hear this. If you're on the ground and alive, I hope you're not alone. It's 4:37 UTC. Earth looks quiet, but not peaceful. Just wrong. No city lights over the eastern seaboard. Nothing over Europe either. It's like the whole damn planet just blinked and forgot how to glow. We're still in orbit, me and what's left of the ISS crew. There were 6 of us. Now it's 3. I'll explain later. Pretend you've just connected to this frequency. What do you tell the world in 15 seconds? It started slow, little warnings, static in the comms, ground control going dark for a few seconds, then more often. We thought it was solar interference or a network issue. Even joked about finally getting some sleep without Houston barking in our ears. But then we lost Australia, then South Korea, then Cape Canaveral. No signal, just static. After that, we stopped joking. I saw Chicago go dark. One pass, lights, movement, traffic. Next orbit, black hole. No fires, no grid, just nothing. You think the silence of space is peaceful until you're begging to hear someone, anyone, call back. We tried every channel, emergency bands, backup bands, old Soviet frequencies. All we get is the occasional fragment, screaming, choking, gunfire, something that sounded like chewing. I wish I was joking. We've pieced together bits of news from random emergency relays. There's something spreading, some infection. No one's calling it a virus anymore. They said it hit fast, bites, blood, some kind of neurological reaction. Total breakdown in minutes. I saw New Delhi 2 nights ago. Fires lit the skyline, but they weren't spreading, just stuck there, burning in place like the people who lit them were gone before they could escape. Now there's just smoke and stillness. The thing is, we don't know what happened. Not exactly. We didn't see it start. We're watching it after. All of it. Like we're stuck in some broken movie projector, watching the reel burn frame by frame. We're circling a planet that's dying, and we can't do anything but watch. It's cold in here. We've shut down most non-essentials to conserve power. We have a few weeks left, maybe more if we ration oxygen. There's a tension in here you can't cut with a knife. It would just bounce off the walls and float in 0G, mocking you. Anna's sleeping. Dimitri's working on some patch to try and boost the antenna. But truth is, none of that matters anymore. We're not going to fix Earth from up here. We're just watching it break. The worst part? No idea what's going on with our families. I had a brother in Toronto, a niece in Sacramento. My mom was in Atlanta. Was. I don't know anymore. No one's answering. You ever stare at something so long you start to forget what it used to be? Earth used to look alive, glowing, breathing. It doesn't look like that now. It looks still, like a corpse no one wants to touch. We watched a plane crash in real time, just fell out of the sky like a toy. No fire, no explosion, just down, like gravity got tired of playing nice. There were dots running from the wreckage, one limping. Then more came. They moved weird, fast, erratic. Then they were gone. I want to believe someone's still out there, that there's some pocket of resistance, some city holding out, building walls, organizing. But from up here, all we see are lights going out. We don't know what the infection is. We don't know if it's airborne. We don't even know if it's natural. Dimitri thinks it's engineered, says it's too fast, too targeted. Whole continents crumbling in hours. He says no way that's nature. There was one clip, caught on a backup channel before it died. Soldier yelling in French. Il court trop vite. They're running too fast. I'll never forget the sound of that man's voice. He wasn't scared. He was confused, like his brain couldn't catch up to what his eyes were seeing. Then the feed cut. We've been trying to broadcast what we see, but who's even listening? If you're hearing this, if your radio still works, please respond. Use any frequency. Use code. Morse. Tap on a pipe if you have to. Just let us know you're alive. Because right now, it feels like we're orbiting a tomb. I keep thinking about a question I read once in a philosophy book. If you were the last person alive, would it matter if you were good? I don't know if I can be good from up here. I just don't want to forget how to be human. Anna made a small garden in one of the old storage containers. Just basil, a tomato seedling, and something she swears is spinach. It's ridiculous, floating here like a joke. But it smells like earth. It's the only thing in here that still feels like home. It's 4:52 UTC now. I'm watching what's left of Europe pass beneath us. Berlin is just a smear of dull orange. Paris is gone. London. Don't ask. We'll keep watching. We'll keep talking. Because that's all we can do. This is Will Howard's on orbital frequency 145.80 megahertz. If you're out there, hold on. We'll keep the light on, even if the world forgets. It's 9:14 UTC. Dmitry hasn't said a word in the last 3 hours, just keeps looking at his screen. He's not monitoring Earth anymore. He's checking the ISS systems, fuel levels, oxygen pressure, food logs. It's like he's trying to outrun gravity by doing math. Anna finally woke up. She didn't ask about the news, just floated to the galley, clipped herself in, and stared at her tea for 10 minutes. Didn't sip it, just stared. I think she's trying not to feel anything. We've been passing over North America again. What's left of it? I saw the Mississippi. The river's still flowing like nothing happened, but the cities around it, St. Louis, Memphis, Baton Rouge, they're dark. The night passes over them like a sheet, and there's nothing under it. No lights, no signals, no sign of life. Earlier, we caught a signal on a weird band. Some ham operator sounded like he was in Mexico. Kept repeating, Ciudad Juárez está perdido, no salgan, están por todas partes. Over and over. Same flat tone, like he wasn't even panicked anymore. Just done. That was 6 hours ago. Haven't heard him since. The last feed from Houston's satellite array flashed one line before it cut. A BN5 contamination vector confirmed. Do not engage with infected. Cellular override observed. That's all it said. Cellular override. Anna thinks it means the infection reprograms the body. Hijacks cells like a virus, but faster. She used to work in synthetic biology before space medicine. She says it's too sophisticated to be natural, like a computer virus built for meat. Dmitry won't say it, but he thinks it's military, Russian or American. Some deep lab no one ever talked about. Something they lost control of. None of it matters now. I've been writing down coordinates of active fire zones. Whatever cities still have light, smoke, or heat. There aren't many. A week ago, we were tracking hundreds. Now, barely 20. Most of those are just glowing craters. We watched Vancouver burn. Not the edges. The center. Like it started inside and spread outwards, swallowing glass and concrete and bone all the same. I could see cars scattered in perfect lines on the freeway, like people just stopped and ran. There was a schoolyard in Bogota. I don't know why I noticed it. Just a square on a roof with faded paint. A playground circle, a net. One swing still moving. Probably wind, but part of me swears someone pushed it. I haven't slept much. You don't get tired the normal way up here. It creeps in sideways. 1 minute you're fine, next your eyes are wet, and you're asking yourself why you care so much about a swing in Colombia. Anna found an old recording of her daughter's voice on her tablet, kept playing it on loop, whispering back to it. "I'm still here, baby." Over and over. I didn't ask where her daughter was. I don't want to know. We tried hailing the Chinese Tiangong station again. Nothing. Either they abandoned it or something worse. I think we're the last ones up here. There's a rattle in the O2 recycler. Nothing major yet, but if it goes bad, we won't last more than 3 days. Dimitri says we should prep for suit isolation, try to extend time, but that's a slow death. One breath at a time. I started talking into the black box, just in case. Maybe someone will recover it in 50 years, when all this is folklore and they're digging through debris trying to figure out where it all went wrong. Here's what I think. It didn't go wrong all at once. It chipped away. People let fear chip the corners. Let greed rot the center. We built a world on systems too big to understand and too fragile to protect. And when it cracked, there was nothing underneath. No backup, no plan B, just us. And we were never enough. I keep watching Florida, hoping maybe the Space Coast sends a signal. But it's gone. No Cape, no Kennedy, just water and ash and a broken coastline. You know what I miss? Traffic. Honking. Annoying ads on the radio. Someone yelling into their phone on a subway platform. That messy noise we used to hate. It meant people were still around. It's quiet now. Too quiet. Dimitri said something earlier. He said, "We are ghosts watching our own funeral." I didn't respond. He's right. We're going to try and ping the backup comms array from the satellite relay over Greenland. It's old, probably junk by now, but it might give us one clean transmission line to bounce a signal across the upper atmosphere. If you're listening, if your rig still works, try tuning to 437.825 megahertz. We'll loop this message every hour. If you can hear us, answer back. Even if all you say is, "I'm here," that's enough. I'm going to try and sleep now. Probably won't, but it helps to pretend. If anyone on Earth is still breathing, still thinking, still human, remember this. We're watching. We haven't forgotten you. Don't forget us. We saw movement today. I mean real movement. Coordinated, not just chaos. Something organized. Over southern France. Looked like a convoy, military. Maybe 20 vehicles, spaced tight, moving through Lyon. That's the first structured motion we've seen in days. But even that looked wrong. Like it wasn't meant to be seen. They were moving without lights, fast, weaving through empty streets like rats under a spotlight. One of the trucks stopped and let something out. Something big. Couldn't get a clear image. Clouds cut visibility, but it didn't move like a tank. It looked more like scaffolding? No, not the right word. Like they were dropping a machine to block off part of the city, or trap it. Anna swears she saw figures crawling up the buildings. Not climbing, crawling. Like ants, straight up walls. I told her it might have been shadows, but deep down I know she wasn't seeing things. They're adapting. Whatever this thing is, this infection, plague, whatever, they're not just shambling corpses anymore. They're getting faster, smarter. Or maybe we just didn't notice before. Maybe we told ourselves they were slow because it made it easier to believe we had time. We don't have time. The oxygen scrubbers failed for 20 minutes earlier, just long enough to scare the hell out of us. Dmitri fixed it with spare tubing and part of a toothbrush. I don't know how he keeps doing it. He says it's the only thing keeping him sane. Fixing things. Pretending it still matters. Anna lost her wedding ring. It floated out of her sleeping pouch and slipped into one of the vents. She didn't cry, just stared at the grate like she was waiting for it to spit something back at her. We tried calling anyone again. Still nothing. There's no ping from Antarctica. No signal from Japan. No heartbeat in Africa. A few hours ago, we passed over Nigeria. Lagos was still smoldering. I could see waves of fire moving slowly from block to block. Controlled burns, maybe. Or maybe something worse. Every time I think I've seen the worst of it, the planet finds new ways to look dead. We keep broadcasting on a loop, the same 30-second message. This is the International Space Station. This is Will Howard's. We are in low Earth orbit. We see you. If you are alive, respond. It repeats over and over. Sometimes I hear it in my sleep. And sometimes I think I hear someone answer. We picked up static on 121.5 megahertz earlier. The emergency frequency. Could have been nothing, but for a few seconds, I swear I heard a voice. Just a few words. Maybe a name. Then silence. I've been obsessing over the tape, replaying it, filtering it, amplifying the waveform. It's probably my brain inventing ghosts. But there was something there. Not human exactly, not machine either. A sound like air passing through lungs that forgot how to breathe. It's starting to get to us. The not knowing. The watching. You can only stare down at the same ball of dirt and ash and flickering heat signatures before your mind starts playing tricks. Last night, I thought I saw fireworks in Brazil. Blue bursts in a perfect circle, but it wasn't a celebration. The lights didn't rise. They fell, like something crashing from orbit. No signal came after, just more darkness. Dmitri wants to start rationing water harder. Cut our intake, stretch the tanks. We've got maybe 16 days left if we're lucky. But we've already passed lucky weeks ago. There's no plan for this. No protocol. No training that tells you how to watch your planet die. Anna found a corner to pray. I didn't interrupt. Whatever gets you through. I talk to the plants sometimes. I know they don't answer, but they're alive. And they still make oxygen. That's more than I can say for most of Earth. You know what I can't stop thinking about? The last song I heard before the feeds died. Some acoustic thing from a playlist. I don't even know who the artist was. But now it's burned into my brain. It loops in my head while I stare at the void, like the Earth's own funeral song. It ended with the line, "Hold on, we're going home." Ironic, right? Because I don't think we are. I wish I could tell you this was just a bad dream, that we'd wake up and the world would still be messy and alive, that I'd hear some idiot yell about traffic or watch a toddler scream in a grocery store. But all I see is stillness. Stillness is death up here. If you're hearing this, please, tell me what it looks like down there, even if it's ugly, even if it's worse than we feared. I need to know someone's still looking up, that someone remembers we're up here. I'll be back in 2 hours. If I don't, we lost power. This is Will Howard's, still breathing, still watching. Please be there. It's 0031 UTC. I've been staring at the Atlantic for 40 minutes. Just ocean and cloud cover. Not a single ship. Not one flicker of light. You know, I used to see dozens of cargo vessels in one pass. Tiny trails across the water, blinking red or green. Now? Nothing. Like the sea swallowed everything and left no bubbles. We're passing over the East Coast again, or what's left of it. New York is a scar. There's no skyline anymore, just a smear of shadow and collapsed metal. I thought the fires had burned out, but then I saw smoke drifting west. Something must still be smoldering in Manhattan. Maybe the subways collapsed. Maybe someone tried to blow a tunnel shut. Doesn't matter now. We got another flicker earlier. A signal, brief and rough. Just static and 3 words. They're inside now. That's all. No location, no name, no follow-up. Dmitri didn't say anything, just switched channels and kept scanning. Anna had her headphones on and didn't react. I think they're both trying to pretend it didn't happen. But I heard it. I keep hearing it. They're inside now. Inside where? The bunker? The city walls? The body? I looked at the earth long enough tonight that it started to feel like a memory. Not a place I'm from. Just a picture. A distant painting of somewhere I used to be. It doesn't feel like home anymore. I wonder how long you can be gone from Earth before it stops feeling like yours. There's a crack in one of the storage modules. Just a seam, not dangerous yet. But it's expanding. Dmitri thinks we can reinforce it with some spare plates from the old airlock. That's assuming we don't need those parts later. Anna keeps humming. A lullaby, I think. Over and over. She doesn't know she's doing it. It's like her brain is trying to keep itself busy while the rest of her shuts down. The water recycler failed for 5 minutes earlier. We lost maybe half a liter before Dmitri rerouted the flow. We can't afford many more of those. Every drop up here is sacred now. We're living off ghosts. Old tech, old systems, old air. I keep thinking about the kids. What it must have been like for them. Waking up, seeing their parents scream or vanish or worse. Trying to understand why the TV shows stopped. Why the adults looked afraid. If there are any kids left, I hope someone's holding their hand right now. I hope someone's lying to them, telling them it's all going to be okay. Because lies are mercy sometimes. I keep going back to the footage we pulled from that orbit pass over northern India. A dam collapsed. Probably not because of the infection, just pressure and time. It swept away a whole valley. You could see buildings tumble like toys. But what haunted me wasn't the collapse. It was the man on the rooftop. He stood there, motionless, just watching the water come. He didn't run, didn't scream, didn't even wave. He just stood, like he'd already let go. I don't want to let go. Not yet. I found an old file on my laptop, a message I recorded before launch. One of those, in case something happens videos. It was meant for my mom. She'll never hear it now, but I watched it anyway. I barely recognized the guy talking. Confident, smiling, ready to study stars and run experiments. He said things like, "Don't worry, I'll be back before you know it." I wanted to punch him, not because he lied, but because he had no idea how fast everything could fall apart. Anna tried to send a message to ESA earlier. Just a ping, really. No response. No signal bounce. Like the satellites aren't even there anymore. We've started rotating antenna positions every 3 hours, scanning full-band spectrum sweeps. It's exhausting, but we can't stop. If someone's still down there, we owe them that. And maybe we owe ourselves a reason to stay awake. I haven't eaten in 36 hours, just not hungry. Food feels stupid now, like chewing is some luxury we haven't earned. but I force down protein gel anyway. Body needs it. Brain's another story. There's a theory Dimitri shared. He thinks the infection's not alive, not in the normal way. He thinks it's programmed, something closer to nanotech, a synthetic contagion designed to hijack tissue, use it as transport. He says the aggression, the movement, the replication speed, it all feels too clean, too precise. Anna doesn't want to hear it, says we should focus on keeping our own systems alive, not trying to understand the ones killing Earth. I don't know which of them is right. I just know I can't look away. We passed over the Arctic an hour ago. Ice sheets are breaking, but not from climate, from something underneath. There's a crack pattern visible from space, concentric, like something rose from beneath. I recorded it. I'll play it next hour if the signal holds. Maybe someone can explain it, or maybe not. If you're hearing this, try 145.800 again. That's our cleanest channel. We loop the broadcast every hour in English, Russian, Spanish, and Arabic. If you can't reply, just listen. It means we're not alone yet. I'm going to sign off for a while. Recharge the panels. Check the filters. Try not to think about the man on the roof. If you're out there, I hope you're dreaming about sunlight. We'll be back. It's 5:42 UTC, no sun yet, just shadows sliding across the edge of the planet. I never noticed before how gray Earth looks when it's asleep, when it forgets how to blink. Anna hasn't spoken since last cycle, just nods or shrugs. She sleeps with her back to us now. I can't tell if it's personal or protective. Probably both. I don't blame her. Dimitri asked me a question earlier. He said, if a signal came right now, clear, strong, coordinates, survivors, would you want to go back down? I didn't answer, not because I didn't have one, but because I didn't like the answer I had. We saw something in the Gulf of Mexico last orbit, a floating grid, like a man-made island. Square structure, blinking lights at the corners, probably solar. Looked recent. No scorch marks, no rust, which means someone built it after the fall started. There was movement, too, shapes along the edge. Couldn't tell if they were people or something else. Dimitri thinks it's a private facility, some offshore research base that turned into a stronghold. We marked the coordinates. We'll check again next pass. Something's jamming parts of the spectrum near South America. It's not consistent, more like a pulse every few minutes. Low frequency, barely audible, like a heartbeat. Anna tried triangulating it, but we need more passes to confirm. It might be an automated beacon, or it might be something trying to hide by looking like one. Either way, it means something down there still wants to talk. We keep watching, logging everything, every flare, every flicker, every dead city with a warm rooftop. And sometimes, in the blur, I forget what it all used to mean. I used to dream about space when I was a kid. I thought it'd be quiet, but beautiful, full of mystery, endless wonder. I never thought it would feel like a prison. We're floating above a dead planet, running out of power, watching the only home we've ever known fall apart, like a toy dropped in the dark. We pass over the Midwest again in 30 minutes. I want to check a place, a cabin. My brother used to live out there, somewhere near Lake Mille Lacs in Minnesota. He was a loner. Off-grid before that was cool. Had his own well, wood stove, chickens. Said the city made him itchy. Maybe he's still there. Maybe the infection didn't get that far. Maybe. I can't finish that thought. There are cracks forming in the station frame, not just the one in storage, a new one in Node 3. Microscopic, but it's there. Stress fracture. Dimitri says it's from thermal cycling. Too many shadow passes, too little insulation. It's nothing now. But in a few weeks, could split the whole module. Anna wants to start prepping for emergency pod ejection. I think she's thinking about landing. Somewhere. Anywhere. I told her we'd be lucky to make it down without burning. She said, "Better to try than rot." She might be right. I don't know anymore. We found another clip in the relay buffer from a satellite feed, just 22 seconds long, no audio, a street camera in Tokyo, hundreds of bodies lying still. Then one gets up, not slowly, like spring-loaded, just straight from stillness to sprint. Then another. Then the feed cuts. We watched it 3 times. None of them blinked. That's the part that got me. Not the running, not the angle of movement, the lack of blinking, like their eyes weren't for seeing anymore. Just glass. Pointless. Dimitri said something else. He said this thing doesn't want to kill us. It wants to use us. Wear us like a coat. Move through us like a glove. He thinks we're the transportation system for whatever's behind this. That idea won't leave me alone. I keep imagining Earth as a machine, and we're the wiring. Now it's short-circuiting. Something rewired the whole board, and no one pulled the plug in time. Anna thinks there's still a way back. She keeps referencing old case studies, plague patterns, viral collapses. Everything burns out eventually, she says. Even the worst fire eats its fuel. She could be right, but we don't know what the fuel is anymore. I miss weather. Real weather. Feeling wind hit your face. Hearing rain hit the window. That tiny panic when thunder hits too close. Up here, all we get is the rumble of fans and the soft hum of systems trying not to die. We've stopped using half the lights. Power draws too high. Now the station glows dim blue, like a nightlight for a planet having a nightmare. We'll pass over Canada in 20 minutes. I'll look for the cabin. If I see a chimney smoke trail, I'll say his name out loud. Just once. Sometimes I think saying names keeps people alive. If you're out there, say the names of everyone you remember. Say them loud. Say them while you still can. This is Will Howard's Still Watching. It's 11:08 UTC. I saw something today that didn't make sense. We were passing over what used to be the Russian Far East, somewhere near Magadan. Snow-covered mountains, no heat signatures, nothing alive for hundreds of miles. Then, one bright point. Just one. Like a flare, but steadier. It was a red light. Pulsing. Slow. Too rhythmic to be random. Not a forest fire. Not lightning. It pulsed 3 times. Stopped. Then again. 3 times. Anna thinks it might be Morse. Dimitri's checking the pattern. Could be S. Could be nothing. But it's something. And that's more than we've had in days. We mark the coordinates. I keep wondering, who's out there trying to speak? And more importantly, who are they speaking to? The Earth looks thin now, like its skin is stretched. Storm systems aren't even behaving normally. There's one sitting off the west coast of Africa, just spinning, not moving, static in place for 2 days. We thought it was stuck on terrain, but there's no reason it should be. The sea's wide open. Anna thinks it's magnetically pinned. Some kind of anomaly. Could be fallout. Could be worse. We've been floating over a graveyard for weeks. I think the Earth knows it's dying. I don't mean that metaphorically. I think it's reacting. The planet is reacting. And I don't know if it's fighting or surrendering. There was a signal from Norway. A single ping from an emergency weather station. Pure data. No voice. Temperature. Wind speed. Radiation. The radiation was high. Too high for a remote area. It pulsed 4 times, then stopped. That was 14 hours ago. Dmitri thinks it was automated, maybe triggered by an event. Anna thinks someone turned it on before evacuating. I think someone turned it on, then never left. We don't know if this infection reacts to radiation. We don't know if anything kills it. But if that station's fried, maybe someone tried, and maybe they failed. The plants are dying. Anna's little garden, what was left of it, is wilting. The tomato seedling shriveled last night. No reason, same light, same nutrients, just gone. The basil's still hanging on, barely. I floated there for an hour earlier, watching the leaves twitch under the air vents. I whispered to it, not because I think it hears me, but because I needed to say something alive was still here. Dmitri found a hairline leak in the docking bay. Nothing major yet, but if it spreads, we'll lose cabin pressure in 2 sections. We've sealed it with epoxy for now. Band-aids on bullet holes. Anna asked me if I still believe in God. I told her I didn't know. She said, me neither, but I still pray. I don't know what that means anymore. Faith, belief, prayer. I think they're all just different ways of saying, please let something answer. If there's anything listening, I hope it's merciful. We saw something burn over the Pacific. Re-entry trail. Big. Not a satellite. Too large. Could have been a ship. Could have been debris. Either way, it broke apart before hitting the water. Nothing left to track. No signal followed. Anna thinks it might have been a private escape pod from one of the underground cities. Yeah, those actually existed. We used to joke about them. Government bunkers, billionaire vaults, seed banks. Maybe someone finally gave up hiding. Or maybe something found them. We've been hearing noises in the hull. Clicks, little metal groans. Normal for space, sure, but this isn't that. These clicks come in patterns, sharp, echoing, almost like tapping, like Morse. But there's nothing out there. No crew, no equipment, nothing. I tapped back once. 3 slow knocks. Nothing answered, but the clicking stopped. I haven't told the others. Not yet. I don't want them thinking I've lost it, but I have to log it, just in case it was something. We're passing over Minnesota now. The cabin should be near Lake Mill Lacs. I stared hard, spotted a faint glint. Might have been a window, might have been ice, might have been nothing. But for a second, I let myself believe it was him. My brother. He used to build fires that could be seen from the road. Said it was his way of telling the world he was still here. I didn't see smoke today, but I said his name anyway. Ryan, if you're down there, brother, don't stop burning wood. Let us see you. Let us know. We'll pass again in 90 minutes. I'll be watching. This is Will Howard's. Still alive, still orbiting, still hoping. It's 1821 UTC. I haven't slept in 2 days. There's this pressure behind my eyes, like I'm underwater, but it's coming from inside. My hands shake more now, just enough to make writing slow, and holding tools feel like threading a needle with broken fingers. We tried something new today. Dmitri rerouted a backup antenna through one of the older comm ports, bypassing the main array. Risky, yeah, but it gave us a new frequency range to scan. And for a minute, just one brief minute, we got a voice. Real. Human. It wasn't clear. It was clipped, distorted, like it bounced off half a dozen broken towers, but it was there. The words we caught. Mountains. Waterholds. They don't like the cold. That's all. Then static. Anna thinks it came from somewhere in the Alps. Maybe Switzerland. That region's been dark since week 1, but mountain passes could have slowed the spread. We'll rescan on the next orbit. Set the dish tighter. Just the idea that someone's still talking lit something in my chest I hadn't felt in days. Hope's dangerous, but silence is worse. You forget your own voice when no one speaks back. Dimitri's talking to himself now. Out loud, not just muttering. Full sentences, arguments, laughter. Yesterday he scolded a wrench for rolling away. Told it, "You'll get us killed." Anna doesn't ask about it. Neither do I. Whatever keeps us moving. I found my toothbrush floating in a vent. I laughed for 2 full minutes. Laughed so hard I couldn't breathe. Then I cried. It's funny how that works. How your brain clings to anything familiar. Even a stupid blue toothbrush feels like home. We've passed over at least 10 zones today with visible surface fires. No movement near them, just burned scars and wind. One was near Istanbul, a crater maybe 50 meters wide, glowing faintly orange, like the Earth itself was bleeding light. We scanned for heat signatures. Nothing. Dead zone. That's becoming a common phrase. Dead zone. Dimitri logs them like entries in a travel journal. Dead Zone 41, former Jakarta. Dead Zone 42, Nile Delta. Dead Zone 43, Paris outskirts. No recovery. No movement. Just static. Earth is going quiet by inches. We also spotted what looked like a barricade around Nairobi. Someone built walls out of shipping containers, high ones. 4 stacked, crude but sturdy. Lights on the edges, solar rigs. But no movement, not a flicker. Could have been survivors. Could have been infected. Could have been something in between. I hate how the in-between is becoming normal. Anna asked if I ever dream about down there. I said yes. She asked what I dream. I told her, wind through trees, the sound of gravel under boots, the plastic creak of a gas station door, someone yelling your name across a field. Just noise. The noise of living. She said she dreamed of her daughter once, sitting on the kitchen floor, playing with pasta noodles. The stove was on. The radio was playing some cheesy French pop song, and she was humming. Anna said she woke up and threw up. We don't talk about dreams anymore. The power reserves are holding, but only just. We shut off the temperature control in the secondary module. It's freezing in there now. You can see the moisture in the air crystallizing. It looks like snow caught in a jar. Beautiful. Until you remember, it means we're dying slower. We haven't talked about descent again. Not seriously. It's suicide, and we all know it. But some part of me keeps thinking, if we did land, what then? What if there's nothing to land on? We saw something over Central Africa. A column, not smoke, not cloud. It rose up, perfectly vertical, dark, like a tree trunk made of shadow. And it didn't move. We passed it 3 times. Still there. No data, no heat, just presence. I don't like it. None of us do. Anna calls it the tower. Dmitri refuses to talk about it. I've stopped looking directly at it. I'm scared it's looking back. The earth is changing. You can feel it even up here. It's not just the cities, the people. The very shape of the planet feels off. We picked up gravitational anomalies near the Mariana Trench. Readings that don't make sense, like the crust shifted or collapsed. Dmitri said, "Maybe the planet's trying to bury the infection." Anna said, "Maybe it's something crawling out." I didn't say anything. I don't want either answer to be right. We'll loop the mountain broadcast 3 more times today. If someone's out there, if you're near water, near cold, maybe you have a chance. Maybe the infection doesn't survive well in freezing temperatures. Maybe altitude buys you time. Maybe mountains are the last refuge. But even then, what are you holding out for? Rebuilding? Retreat? Surrender? I don't know. But if you're alive and hearing this, keep recording. Keep sending. Keep whispering into whatever broken tech you have left. Because up here, we're still listening. This is Will Howard's Orbit 217. No answers, but still hoping for one. It's 3:47 UTC. I watched the Pacific for 2 hours. Nothing moved. No glints, no boats, not even a ripple we could see. Just one solid, flat black mirror. It's not natural. Even with the collapse, currents should move. Winds should break patterns. Clouds should form. But it's just still. Too still. Dmitri thinks there's something beneath it, something that settled on the ocean floor and started changing the pressure systems. Maybe a buried structure. Maybe something that fell. Maybe whatever started this didn't come from above, but below. Anna doesn't talk about the sea anymore. She says looking at it makes her skin itch. She's not sleeping again. Her eyes are red, like she's been crying quietly, hiding it in the dark. I heard her whisper her daughter's name last night. Chloe. Over and over, like a mantra. Dimitri's on edge, too. He keeps checking the docking clamps, says he hears creaking that shouldn't be there. I checked the logs. No seismic hits. But I believe him. There is something off. The whole station feels like it's holding its breath. We saw a shape on the ice shelf over Greenland. Looked like a base at first. Boxy with a dome top. Probably military. But it had no markings. No insignia. Just matte gray panels and 4 towers rising from the corners. It wasn't on any of the old maps. And it wasn't there last week. We passed again 4 hours later. Gone. No debris, no burn marks, no shift in the snow. Just gone. Anna said maybe it was a mobile station, a walking base. I laughed, thought she was joking. She wasn't. She said she read files once. Buried tech projects, mobile Arctic rigs, self-contained bunkers that could move to avoid detection. Why would anyone move their base now? Unless they weren't hiding from people. Unless they were hiding from the infected. We still don't know what this thing is. We don't even know what to call it. It's not just a virus, not just a behavior shift. It's systemic. A takeover. Bodies as hosts. Brains as fuel. Motion as infection. We've seen movement patterns in the cities. Clusters that behave like hives. Like someone, something, is controlling them all at once. Dmitri calls it centralized behavior. Like bees. One mind. thousands of limbs. Anna said if that's true, then whatever's running it must be close to Earth's core now. That's when Dmitri went quiet. I know what he was thinking. If the core gets compromised, if this thing can feed off geothermal energy, we won't have a planet left to come back to. We'll just have a rock, and it won't care what we used to be. There was a sound outside the station 2 hours ago. No explanation for it. A knock, 3 sharp pulses on the hull. Not expansion, not metal fatigue. It echoed through the structure. Anna heard it too. She floated to me with wide eyes and said, "Someone's knocking." We didn't answer. I don't want to know who or what thinks there's something worth knocking for. The air recyclers are still holding. We've cleaned the filters 3 times in the last day. Power's steady for now. But the food, that's another story. We're down to 3 ration packs each. After that, it's paste. Just nutrient sludge. I miss taste. Even bad coffee. Burned toast. Cold cereal that sat too long. I miss food that felt human. Dmitri said if we have to, we could try landing. Aim for Alaska or the Yukon. Cold zones. Low density. Maybe something's still holding there. But what then? We can't grow food. We can't rebuild power. We can't even be sure the infection isn't in the air. We're trapped between orbit and extinction. I dreamt of falling last night. Not the fiery kind, just slowly drifting down. Like my tether was cut, and gravity remembered me. I didn't burn. I didn't land. I just fell. Forever. Through air, through light, through silence. And when I woke up, I wasn't sure if it was over. Or just starting. We're passing over Argentina now. No lights, no smoke. Just cold mountains and long stretches of nothing. If someone's alive down there, you're doing a good job hiding. We'll loop this message again in 30 minutes. Same frequencies. 145,800, 437,825. Try short bursts, compressed audio. Morse if you can. We're listening, even if the world isn't. This is Will Howard's. 3 left on the ISS, still circling a planet that forgot how to breathe, still hoping someone's still down there. It's 10:02 UTC. Dimitri's not in his bunk. I checked the lab, the observation node, even the old storage locker near the Soyuz hatch. Nothing. His tools are still floating. His suit's still zipped in its locker. But he's not here. We're in a sealed capsule. There's nowhere to go. Anna thinks maybe he's in the comms pod, running diagnostics. I said nothing, just nodded. Because I know he's not. There's a panel open in the aft section, wires hanging out. It leads to one of the old EVA crawl spaces. We haven't used it in years. He knew how to open it quietly. There's a handprint on the inside of the door, smudged, wet. You don't sweat like that up here unless your body's in panic mode. I haven't said this to Anna, but I think Dmitri went outside. Not on a mission, not in a suit. Just went. You don't hear screams in space, but I swear something pulled the pressure a notch lower while I was sleeping. I woke up with my ears throbbing and the lights flickering. Now there's one less toothbrush in the rotation. I want to believe he was sleepwalking, disoriented, but he left his gloves behind. He left a drawing too, scratched into the plastic with a drill bit. It's a circle, broken down the middle, and a word, awake. No context, no signature, Just awake. Anna hasn't asked. I think she already knows. We're not going to talk about it. Because if we do, the truth gets in. The truth that we're down to 2. I went to the comms terminal and stared at the blue light on the receiver. It used to mean connection. Now it just means the power's still on. I looped the broadcast again. If you're hearing this, this is Will Howard's International Space Station. Survivors, please respond. Ping any signal, any band. Nothing. I stared out over the dark curve of Earth. No stars, just a planet turning slower than it should. We passed over the Mediterranean. The sea looked oily, not dark, just thick, like something slick coated the surface. There were wakes, faint ones, like something large had moved beneath it recently. I told myself it was just an underwater landslide. But even the lies feel thin now. There's a new fracture near the solar wing. Small, hairline, but it's not shrinking. Anna says if the wing collapses, we lose 1/3 of our remaining power. She didn't say what happens after that. She doesn't have to. The air smells different, like plastic and dust, like the station's rotting from the inside. We picked up a weird noise on 437.825, barely a whisper. A hum, 5 seconds long. Then silence. Then again, 5 seconds. It's not mechanical, and it's not solar interference. It sounds made. I played it back through the old signal processor. On loop. Slowed it down. It sounds like breathing, but not human. Something trying to mimic it. A rhythm it doesn't understand. Anna said, maybe it's trying to talk. I said, then why does it sound like it's listening? We shut the receiver off for an hour after that. We just floated in silence. She drifted near the viewport. I watched her reflection for a while. Her eyes don't blink much anymore, like she's adapting to the stillness. I asked her if she wanted to record anything, just in case. She shook her head, said, my voice doesn't feel real anymore. I told her mine barely does either. Sometimes I replay the old Earth transmissions, snippets of news, weather reports, traffic alerts. There was one that always got me. Good morning. It's 72 degrees in Baltimore. Expect a few scattered showers by late afternoon. That line plays in my head like a lullaby. Baltimore hasn't existed in weeks, but that voice still floats up here. I think about Dimitri. I think about the hatch. I think about how long it takes for the cold to reach your lungs. How fast you forget how to breathe. We pass over Antarctica next, the last clean continent. No visible fire zones, no movement, no signal, just white and wind. Maybe something's hiding there. Maybe nothing is. Either way, I'll record what I see. We'll pass again in 92 minutes. I'll be here. This is Will Howard's. Still above. Still alone. Still listening. It's 2019 UTC. Anna hasn't spoken in 13 hours. She's alive. She eats. She drinks. She checks the systems. But she doesn't say a word. Not even when I ask her a question. She looks right through me now. Like I'm already gone. I stopped pushing. I let her float near the viewport, eyes fixed on Earth, knees tucked against her chest. She looks like a child waiting for her parents to come back from the store. They won't. No one's coming back. We passed over northern China. Everything is black. Except one spot. Xi'an. It's blinking. A red pulse. Slow. Steady. Like a metronome. We measured it. 4 seconds on, 6 seconds off. Anna said without turning her head, "It's calling something." She didn't elaborate. Didn't need to. I stared at it until the horizon pulled it out of view. That red dot still burns behind my eyes, like a warning, or a heartbeat. The air scrubbers are failing again. Dimitri used to fix them. Anna tried today, but she couldn't get the panel loose. Her hands shake too much. I told her I'd try later, but I think we both know it's a stall. We're running out of tools. Running out of air. Running out of time. I dreamt of water last night. Not drowning, just standing waist deep in it. The waves were warm, the sky was low. I could hear people singing on the shore, but I couldn't see them. I called out, and their voices stopped. Then I woke up to a low beep and the smell of burning wire. The secondary solar inverter blew. Took half the backup system with it. I put it out. But we're down another module. I don't even know how much time we have left. 3 days? 2? There's a cold hum in the hull. It didn't used to be there. It's like the metal's remembering something we forgot. Like the station itself knows we've overstayed our welcome. We picked up another signal. Northwest Canada. Voice transmission. Unintelligible. Distorted. It sounded wet, like someone speaking through a cloth or underwater. But we made out 2 words. Inside us. Then the feed dropped. We haven't gotten anything else from that region since. We watched a dust storm roll over the Sahara, but it didn't move like a storm. It spiraled in on itself. Too tight. Too clean. Like something was controlling it. Then it stopped. Mid-motion. Just froze. Like the weather forgot how to finish what it started. Anna finally spoke a sentence. She floated over to me, real quiet, and said, "I don't think we're the ones watching anymore." Then she drifted away and didn't speak again. I replayed that in my head for hours, because I think she's right. It's not just that Earth is infected. It's that something's learning. It's watching us watch it. Learning how we move, how we speak, how we hope. I stared at my reflection in the viewport earlier. I didn't blink. For maybe 2 full minutes. And I started wondering, how long until I forget to blink entirely? We're not immune up here. Not really. Isolation is its own infection. Silence eats memory. I don't remember what birds sound like. I don't remember what dirt smells like. I don't remember the color of my mother's eyes, but I remember that Xi'an light, still blinking, still calling, still waiting. We'll pass it again in 40 minutes. Maybe it'll say something new. Or maybe it'll just stare back. If anyone out there is hearing this, if you're hiding in the snow, in the woods, in the ruins of a basement, if you're scrawling maps by candlelight and boiling rainwater to stay alive, I'm still up here. I haven't forgotten you. Even if you've forgotten me. Even if you never knew I was here. This is Will Howard's International Space Station. 2 souls left, 1 fading. Still looking down. Still waiting for the world to speak. It's 4:12 UTC. Anna's gone. She didn't say anything, didn't leave a note, didn't touch the comms, just floated into the docking bay sometime during the last sleep cycle. I found her EVA suit zipped open, helmet beside it, empty. One of the outer hatches is unlocked. The log says manual override. She bypassed the safety, No alarms. Just opened the door and left. I keep playing it back. Her floating through that airlock without a tether, without protection. No hesitation. No countdown. No fear. Like something was calling her. Or maybe like silence had finally finished what it started. She was the last voice I had. Now it's just me. One man, one station, one world, and no ground left to stand on. The cabin feels bigger now, and colder. Every sound echoes twice. My breathing feels too loud. I tried talking out loud for a while, just to fill the space. But eventually, I got tired of hearing myself. I watched Earth rotate for 4 hours. 4 full hours. No signals, no firelight, no movement. Except Xi'an, still blinking, still red, still alive. We passed it again. I stared straight at it, and I swear, this time, it blinked faster when I looked. It's watching back. It knows. I don't know what's left down there. I don't know if the infected still feel, if they see, if they dream. But something in that light feels awake. Not random, not broken. Aware. Dimitri's sketch is still taped to the terminal. The broken circle. The word awake. I used to think it was metaphor. Grief. Madness. Now I think it was a warning. I heard noises again in the hull. Not knocks, scrapes, software rhythmic. Like something crawling. But there's nothing out there. Just vacuum, isn't there? I've started hallucinating. I see Anna in the corner of my eye, floating upside down, hair drifting, arms crossed. When I turn, nothing. Once, I heard her humming again. That same lullaby. The one she sang when she thought no one was listening. I don't remember the tune, but I remember it made me feel less alone. Now it makes my skin crawl. The red light over Xi'an isn't alone anymore. There are 2 more now. One near Lagos, one in the middle of the Pacific, all pulsing the same rhythm. On, office, on, office. I triangulated the timing. They sync, exactly, to the second. Across continents, across oceans, like nodes on a network. Someone, or something, is organizing, coordinating, not surviving, thriving. We picked up a burst on 121.5 megahertz. Encrypted. 5 seconds, then nothing. I ran it through every codec I have. Nothing matched. But when slowed, there's something underneath. A voice. I'm sure of it. I think it said, "We're here." Not I. We. If it's real, if it's not just me losing my mind, then something out there still speaks. But not like us. Not human. I keep wondering, what if the infection wasn't a mistake? What if this is the upgrade? We used to talk about evolution like it was slow, patient. But maybe it's sudden, violent, complete. Maybe the planet just got tired of us, and now it's rewriting the code, one host at a time. I recorded a message for anyone who finds the black box. It says, "I watched us die. Not as an accusation, just a fact. We were so smart, so loud, so sure. Now I orbit a corpse, and it never once asked for our help. I'll try to boost the signal tomorrow. Try to reach something, someone, anyone. But tonight, I'll sit in the dark and watch the red lights blink. 3 of them now. 3 pulses. 1 world. This is Will Howard's Last Man on the ISS. Still spinning, still speaking, even if no one's left to hear. It's 12:09 UTC. I haven't turned the lights back on since Anna left. The station glows in this soft, ghost blue now. Emergency level illumination. Just enough to see, not enough to pretend I'm still living in a world that works. I don't need brightness anymore. The earth isn't bright either. The 3 red pulses, Xi'an, Lagos, Pacific, still active, still blinking in perfect sync. I charted them on the display. They form a triangle, wide base, narrow top, like a pyramid. I've been rotating the map, looking at it from every angle. From orbit, the shape makes sense. But if you flatten it, it points toward the Arctic, directly. What's in the Arctic? Nothing. Ice. Abandoned outposts. 1 Russian radar station we haven't heard from in a month. Unless there's something under it. Unless all of this is pointing toward something we were never meant to see. I tried raising ground control again, just to hear static. But I didn't even get that this time. Only silence. Clean, cold, indifferent. The kind of silence that doesn't just mean nobody's there, but that maybe nobody ever was. I caught myself talking to Anna's toothbrush this morning, just floating there, clipped to the wall. I stared at it for an hour, told it about the ice shifting under Siberia, about the signal that almost sounded like her name, about the dream I had, again. Same dream. The water, the low sky, the people on shore singing, then falling quiet when I call to them. Except this time, I walked to shore. And they weren't people. They had faces, but not expressions, like masks melted in the sun. And their eyes, if they were eyes, were too large, too wet, like they'd never blinked. I woke up gasping. The oxygen's thinning. I can feel it. We're still above critical levels, but it's dipping faster now. Could be the filters. Could be me. I might be burning more air than I realize. I float slower now. Every motion feels like I'm pushing through syrup. My fingers are cold. I double-sleeved 3 hours ago, and I still can't get warm. I watched the Earth from Node 2, just drifted in place. Let myself turn, slowly, like a planet of my own, orbiting nothing. I saw movement over Australia. Fast, not on land, over it, a shadow, cast by nothing. I tracked it for 11 seconds, then it vanished. No heat trail, no sonic disruption, just a passing absence. It looked like wings. Anna once said she thought the infection might mutate beyond flesh, that if it could adapt fast enough, it might leave behind the host entirely, become something new, like smoke, or shadow, or wind. Maybe she wasn't speculating. Maybe she knew. Maybe that's why she left. There's a deep vibration through the hull now, a low-frequency tremor. It comes in waves, 5 minutes apart. It feels like a heartbeat. Not mine, not the station's. Bigger, older, like the Earth is breathing again. Or something else is. I can't prove any of this. I don't even know what proof means anymore. All I have is time, orbit, memory, and this voice. And even that is fading. I found one of Anna's old recordings, a message to her daughter. Simple stuff. Mommy loves you. Mommy's coming home. Over and over. I played it on loop for 20 minutes. Then I shut it off, because it started sounding like someone else's voice. Just slightly wrong. I don't trust the recordings anymore. They repeat too perfectly. No human repeats anything exactly. But the voice did. Down to the breath. The cough. The pause. The pause was too perfect. I'm turning off the backups tomorrow. One less thing to monitor. One less echo to listen to. I'll use what power's left to keep broadcasting this, even if it's just a whisper in the dark. Even if the dark is the only one listening. This is Will Howard's. Still in orbit. Still alone. Still watching the red lights blink. It's 1:03 UTC. I stopped recording logs for a while. Not because I forgot, because I didn't want to admit how long it's been since anyone responded, or since I've said anything that mattered. I don't even know what day it is anymore. The station's calendar says Thursday. The Earth below says nothing. There's a crater in Central America. Huge, fresh. It wasn't there last week. It's black around the edges, like it burned inward. Perfectly round, maybe a mile across. No debris, no heat, no smoke. Just empty. I stared at it the whole pass. It didn't feel like something hit. It felt like something left. Something that no longer needed to be there. There are now 6 red lights, 3 more since my last count. 1 in northern Russia, 1 just east of the Andes, 1 floating. Yes, floating. Over the Pacific. Not on an island. Not on a ship. Over the water. The satellite picked it up as a distortion first. Light bending the wrong way. Then the pulse. Same pattern. On. Office. On. Whatever this is, it's not anchored anymore. It moves now. It learns. The pulses have changed too. The gaps are shorter. The frequency tighter. Like it's accelerating. Or communicating. I don't know what language it speaks, but it's not one we made. I saw something else. A signal from low Earth orbit, not mine. A new one, not ours. Not Russian. Not Chinese. No registry. No ID. Just a cold green ping, circling 10 degrees below my orbit. Matching velocity. Watching. It's gone now. 1 pass, 1 blink, and then gone. I'm not imagining this. I know I'm not. I still eat. I still check pressure. I still breathe. I still write. So I'm still here, even if the Earth no longer is. I looked for Anna again. Not because I thought she'd come back, but because part of me still hears her voice. Humming. Always humming. The toothbrush is gone. It was clipped to the wall yesterday. Now it's not. No one else could have moved it. Except me. Unless I didn't. Unless... I won't finish that sentence. The hatch is sealed. I checked it 12 times today. I say the number out loud every time I check it, just so I remember that I did. 12. 12. 12. I'll say it again tomorrow. I passed over what used to be California. Nothing left but scars. But in the middle of the dust and burn lines, there's a single stretch of green. A grove. Alive, healthy, impossible. Anna said before that some old growth forests carry their own ecosystems, root nets, subterranean water lines, internal humidity cycles. But this is too clean, too perfect. It's not surviving, it's thriving. I zoomed in as close as I could. The trees grow in concentric circles, each layer taller than the last. It looks like a fingerprint, or a spiral, like a message in foliage, or a gate. Why would trees grow like that? Unless they were told to. Unless the thing rewriting the world decided to try its hand at beauty. I keep wondering, what if this wasn't destruction? What if it's renewal? What if we were never the end goal? Just a step, a necessary failure, before something better. The lights in the station are dimming faster. The solar wing crack is spreading. One bump from space debris and I'll lose half the array. I tried patching it with insulation foam. It hissed at me. Just for a second. Then it stopped. The foam's gone now, evaporated, or maybe pulled away. I'm not touching it again. Let it break. Maybe it already has. The dream returned again last night. This time, I was underwater. But I wasn't drowning. I could breathe. The people on the shore had no mouths, just wide eyes, glowing from the inside. They didn't sing. They waited, and I wanted to join them. I woke up gripping the radio dial. I don't remember reaching for it. The channel was open, 121.5. The emergency band. There was no signal, but someone was listening. I know it. If you're down there, if this reaches anyone, tell me. Do you still dream? Do you remember birds? Do you remember who you were? Because I'm not sure I do anymore. My name is Will Howards. I think I'm still me, but I'm not sure what me means now. It's 10:40 p.m. UTC. I haven't spoken aloud in 2 days, just wrote, just listened. The act of talking feels foreign now. My throat hurts when I try, like it forgot the shape of sound. But I'm forcing this entry out. Because something changed. The Earth doesn't rotate the same. It's subtle, a fraction of a degree. But it's there. I noticed it while aligning the external cam to match prior footage. There was lag, drift. The landmarks didn't sync. I thought it was a glitch. Then I measured again. And again. Each pass is slightly off, which means Earth's axis is shifting, or being pulled, or guided. By what? I don't know. But whatever it is, it's not slowing down. I've stopped tracking the red pulses. There are too many now. 12 visible from orbit. Probably more I can't see. They form a network, crossing oceans, mountains, continents. A weave of light like a net, slowly closing around the globe. They're not just signals. They're anchors. The infection, whatever it is, isn't just spreading. It's organizing the planet, rearranging it. Like Earth is being rewritten from the surface inward. I keep asking myself, if we built this world out of systems, clocks, maps, cities, codes, what happens when something decides to build something else over it? Same planet. New rules. There's a noise in the station now, constant. A soft, low pulse. Like a heartbeat. Only off. Like it's missing every fourth beat. I can't trace it. It's not coming from a machine I know. I checked the panels. All normal. I unplugged everything. Still there. I tried recording it. The file came back blank. Just silence. But I still hear it. Feel it. Like it's under my skin. Sometimes I think the station isn't orbiting anymore, that maybe Earth is spinning around me. I know how insane that sounds. But I also watched a continent go dark in less than a day. I watched fire freeze in midair. I watched Dimitri carve symbols into the wall before stepping into space with a smile. So maybe nothing is insane anymore. The crack in the solar wing finally split. Half the array is gone. No explosion. Just a quiet fracture, like paper tearing underwater. I didn't even move when it happened. I just watched. The power's going to drop fast now. I've shut down everything I don't need. Just life support, basic comms, and this recorder. Everything else is dark. The viewport frosted this morning. Not moisture, not ice. Something else. Thin, branching patterns like veins across glass. I scraped one with a tool. It moved. I didn't try again. I don't think I'm alone here anymore. No, not ghosts, not hallucinations. Just something. Watching, waiting, learning. I found a voice on a loop. Not a transmission. A file. One I never recorded. It plays once every hour. A woman. She says, "You're still here." That's all. No timestamp. No source. I don't know her. It's not Anna. It's not my mother. But the voice feels familiar. Too familiar. Like it belongs to the part of me I stopped listening to years ago. The last real part. I talk back now. I say, "Yes, I'm still here." Because that's all I know how to say. And because if I stop saying it, I stop being it. We passed over Antarctica again. The ice is cracking like glass. Something is rising from beneath it. A spiral ridge. Perfect symmetry. No melt. Just fracture. The ridge casts no shadow, even in full light. I watched it form in real time. It grows faster when we're above it, like it knows I'm watching, or maybe it needs to be seen. Some things exist only when observed. Maybe this is one of them. Maybe I am one of them. There's a point where survival becomes a kind of performance. You act alive long enough, you forget what dying looks like. But I remember now. I remember what it looks like to unravel slowly. To talk to silence. To float in the same orbit while the world below becomes a stranger. My name is Will Howards. I don't know if that means anything anymore. But I say it anyway. Because if I'm just a voice in the dark, I want it to have a name, and a place, and a reason. This is still the International Space Station, and I am still aboard. And I am still watching, even if the world stopped looking back. It's 6:56 UTC. I can't feel my feet anymore. I know they're there. I see them. I move them. But they don't feel like mine. Like I'm piloting someone else's body. Or maybe something's piloting mine. I haven't slept. Not because I can't. Because I'm afraid of what happens when I do. Last time I closed my eyes, I dreamed I was in the core of the Earth. No station, no orbit. Just a tunnel. Winding down forever. Walls pulsing like lungs. I was warm, and I hated that I liked it. That dream didn't feel like mine. It felt like it was dreaming me. The station's temperature is rising by a few degrees every hour. No system change, no solar surge, just heat. It's not coming from the equipment. It's coming from the walls. I touched one. It was warm, pulsing, rhythmic. I backed away. Didn't touch it again. There's movement in the corner module. Shadows. Quick. Thin. Like something slipping around when I'm not looking. I don't investigate anymore. Not because I'm afraid of what I'll find, but because I'm afraid I won't. That I'll walk in there and it'll just be me. Talking to myself. In a voice I don't recognize. I keep hearing Anna. Only now she says different things. Whispers I never heard her say when she was alive. Like, it's better down there now. Or, you're already part of it. I unplugged the audio loop. It still plays. There's no battery left. I smashed the speaker. It still plays, so I stopped fighting it. Let it hum. Let her speak. Maybe she's not gone. Maybe she was never real. I looked out over India, last orbit. Delhi is underwater now. Not flooding, just gone. A flat sheen like glass over the region. Reflective. Smooth. No waves. No movement. It covers the buildings like a lid. I don't know if the people are under there. I don't know if they ever were. The lights are different now. No more red pulses. Now they're white. Flickering like stars that forgot how to stay still. 16 of them. All blinking in sync. Except the one above Greenland. That one doesn't blink. It stares. I felt it hit my chest before I saw it. Like gravity remembered me for a second. Pulled my heart downward. I lost my breath. Had to grip the rails. When I looked again, it was gone. I think it's moving. Following. I think it's the center. And I think it's not on Earth anymore. Something else. Something impossible is above me now. I ran diagnostics on the external sensors. They all returned negative. No object detected. No collision risk. But the shadow across the hull lasts too long. And it blocks stars. The stars shouldn't blink like that. Not in patterns. Not in Morse. That's right. I saw the pattern. Short. Long. Short. Short. That's an F. Short. Short. Long. Short. That's L. Short. Long. Short. Short again. Another F. Then one final burst. Long. Short. Short. Long. P. F. L. F. P. No meaning, I know. But they're saying something. They want to be seen. They want me to respond. I won't. Not yet. Not until I know I'm still me. The walls hum now, not from electricity, from memory. They remember Dmitri. They remember Anna. They remember me. They echo back my movements before I make them, like a dance I already performed in another life. I scratched my name into the panel with a broken tool. Will Howard's. I come back every hour to see if it's still there. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it says something else. Like we are, or gone, or come down. I stopped reading them aloud. I just touch the letters, feel their temperature. Sometimes they're warm. Sometimes they breathe. I keep transmitting, even if I don't remember why. Even if my voice isn't my voice anymore. Because if someone hears this, if anyone is left, know that I tried. I tried to stay human, to be more than a watcher, to hold on to the name I was given. I don't know if I succeeded, but I am still speaking. This is Will Howard's. At least, it was. Orbit decaying, lights shifting, shadows learning. If this is my last transmission, let it mean something. Let it mark the line between who we were and what comes next. It's 14:32 UTC. I think this will be my last full loop. The orbit's dropping. Slower than it should, but still, it's slipping. The drag from the atmosphere shouldn't be this strong yet. The instruments disagree. They're still telling me I'm stable. But when I look down, Earth is closer. I feel it in my spine. It's pulling me, not with gravity, with intention. Like it wants me back. Like it's finally ready to show me what it's become. I've stopped logging system data. It's not accurate anymore. The oxygen meter reads fine, but I'm lightheaded. The CO2 scrubber says operational, but my fingertips are blue. The food processor says full, but there's nothing left. Even the interface is wrong. The letters on the screen flicker when I blink. I see different words. Once it said, "You see us." I tried to refresh the panel. The words were gone. Just power levels and diagnostics again. But I keep seeing them. I'm not hallucinating, at least not in the usual way. The station isn't breaking. It's changing, adapting. The insulation foam I used to patch the wing, it's grown back. Not how it should. Not sealed. Regrown. Different texture. Translucent. When I touched it, it was warm, and I swear it pulsed, like it had a heartbeat. There's no science left to explain what this is. This isn't Earth dying. It's something being born. From Earth. Through Earth. Around Earth. I've stopped calling it the infection. That word is too human, too afraid. This isn't a sickness. It's a transformation. A reconfiguration of matter, of will, of species. The lights below have stopped blinking. They're all solid now. All 17 of them. They no longer need to signal. They've synchronized. Whatever they are, whatever they're building, it's complete. It spans the entire surface. A network. A system. Maybe even a body. I see it now when I look down. No longer oceans and land. Just a pattern. Veins. Neural grids. Memory lanes carved into mountain ranges. Cities collapsed into nodes. And in the center, that tower, that impossible tower in Antarctica. It's no longer just a ridge. It's grown. It reaches into orbit now. I can see the tip, like a finger pressed against the sky. A message. A question. A demand. I can't look at it too long. My vision blurs. My ears ring. I get this pressure in the base of my skull, like something's trying to push its way in through memory. Not through thought, through feeling. It doesn't speak in words. It speaks in patterns. And when I sleep, it speaks in dreams. I dreamed I was back on Earth. Not before everything ended. After. I stood in a forest, but it wasn't wood. The trees pulsed. Their leaves shimmered like breath. The sky moved wrong. It rippled, like it was breathing too. And the people. There were people, but not like before. They were calm, still, joined. No voices, just presence, like they didn't need to speak anymore, because everything was already known. I woke up crying, not from fear, from relief, because for once, I didn't feel alone. Up here, I'm the last fragment. The last frame of an old film that's been cut from the reel. But maybe they're not asking me to fight anymore. Maybe they're just asking me to come home. The systems are flickering again. Lights dimming. The station's shadow stretches farther than it should. There's something just outside the viewport. A shape, not a ship, not a cloud, not debris. It's waiting, hovering, like a door. And I'm the key. I don't know what I'll find when I leave. I don't even know if I'll be me anymore. But I know staying here isn't life. Not anymore. So this is my final transmission. Not a warning. Not a cry for help. Just a witness. One voice, carried in the dark, floating on the edge of a new world. My name was Will Howard's. I watched Earth fall, and I saw what rose from it, and I am not afraid. It's 0000 UTC. No more clocks after this. No more orbit to track, no more time. Just this one last message. I've rerouted every last bit of station power to the capsule. It's ready. Barely. It might not hold. The descent could tear me apart. But I think it won't. I think whatever is down there doesn't want to destroy me. It wants me to see. It wants me to know. I keep feeling something in my chest. A signal. Not from the radios. Not from the communications. Inside me. A pressure. A rhythm. Like something planted a beat under my heartbeat and now it's louder than the real thing. I used to think silence was the scariest part. But now I know worse. The quiet that answers back. That listens. That waits. I looked at Earth one last time. It's not Earth anymore. It shines now. Not in sunlight. Not in fire. It glows. From the oceans. From the cracks in the crust. From the tower in the south. There's no more night and day, just cycles of shimmer. It looks alive, not inhabited. Alive, like a single conscious being. I think it sees me. I think it has always seen me. Maybe that's why I stayed up here so long. Not because I was alone, but because it was waiting until I was ready to come down. There's no Anna, no Dimitri, no Houston, just me. One last transmission. I'll activate the descent sequence manually. The auto guidance is fried. Doesn't matter. I'm not aiming for a city. I'm aiming for the tower, the signal, the light. It's not about surviving the fall. It's about meeting it. I don't expect to walk away from it human. Maybe that's not the point. Maybe I've never been. I opened the hatch once more. The station smells different now. Less metal, more earth. Like moss and ash. Like something natural took root in the walls. Maybe I was never in a machine. Maybe I've been in a cocoon. And it's time to open it. Before I go, I want to leave something behind. Something true. If you're hearing this, if this is found, floating through the void, cracked and half corrupted, remember this. We weren't wiped out. We weren't erased. We were rewritten. The world didn't end. It changed its mind. It outgrew us. And now it's offering us a choice. Join it. Or be forgotten. I choose to see, to step through, to become. This is Will Howard's, or what's left of him. Signing off. One last time. Capsule ignition in 3, two dots, one dot, dot, dot. I don't know if I am alive, but I'm breathing, I'm moving, and I'm talking. So maybe that counts. This was Will Howard's. I think I've landed. The capsule's hatch is torn open, not like it blew out. More like something opened it gently, peeled it, like the skin of a fruit. There's no crash site, no crater, no smoke. Just me, sitting on the softest surface I've ever felt. Not soil, not sand, something else. It gives under my boots, holds my weight, warmer than it should be, and quiet, not silent. Quiet. Like the world is breathing very slowly, and I just haven't caught the rhythm yet. The sky is gold, not like a sunset. It's always gold. Everything is lit from nowhere. No shadows, no sun. I can see shapes moving in the distance. Tall, thin, bending at joints I don't understand. They walk slow, but they move fast. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's what I see. They're never where I expect them to be when I look back. I haven't seen buildings, but there are structures, organic ones, giant twisting towers of soft bone, or something like it. Veined, breathing. I haven't seen people, but I hear them. Soft voices behind the wind. They don't speak in words, just feeling, memory, regret. I found a shard of the station, just a panel, cracked, blackened, humming. It still has power. I rigged a basic recorder to it. If this transmits, if anything still listens, I came down. I didn't die. I saw the tower up close. It's not a building. It's a beacon. It's alive. Not like a tree. Like a brain. Pulsing with knowledge, memory, history. I touched it, and I remembered things that aren't mine. A field, a scream, a child made of light, water folding upward, the end of gravity, a world that cracked itself open to become more. I dropped to my knees and laughed until I cried. Because it's beautiful. It's wrong, but beautiful. This isn't infection. This is evolution. I think this is what Anna saw before she left the station. I think this is what Dmitri heard before he stepped outside. I think I finally understand. They weren't escaping. They were coming home. I'm walking now, toward the closest structure. It hums when I get near it, like it recognizes me, like it's glad I'm back. I don't know how much longer this recorder will hold. I don't even know if this is transmitting. But I need to say this. If Earth is gone, then this is what replaced it. If we died, this is what came after. And if you're still out there, it's not too late to join it. We were the seed. This is the bloom. I'll send another entry if I find a way to. If I still can. This was Will Howard's, and I've seen the other side. It's Will again. I've walked maybe 10 miles, but that doesn't mean anything. There are no roads, no gravity like we knew it. Time bends when I move. I walk toward the horizon, and it curls away. I turn around, and somehow I'm farther than I started. This world is a loop. Or maybe I am. I haven't slept. I don't think I can anymore. I don't feel tired, but my hands shake. My jaw locks. Sometimes I stop walking for hours and stare at things that shouldn't exist. There are trees here, but they don't sway. They listen. I sat under one. It leaned toward me, Its bark split open and showed me something. A memory, not mine. A woman screaming into a well. The water rippled up. A child kneeling over a shattered radio, whispering into the pieces. A crowd of people holding hands inside a flooded stadium, all of them looking at the ceiling. There was no ceiling. The tree closed, and I got up and left. I found something else. A shape. Metal, but soft. It looked like a satellite dish, half submerged in the living ground. It hummed. I put my hand on it. Static filled my skull. And then I heard my own voice. Old logs. From orbit. From the station. They've been archived, cataloged, played back. This world is listening to us. To everything. Even now. Even here. I think it's been listening for a long time. Even before the collapse. Maybe that's how it started. Maybe it heard our fear before we even said it. And it grew around that. Adapted to it. Built a world we would understand just long enough to invite us in. I can't prove it. But I feel it in my teeth. In my bones. Like I've always known it. And I've just been trying to forget. I found a space where voices echo without walls. I called out. I said Anna's name. I said Dimitri's. I said mine, and the air said them back. In their voices. In mine. In yours. Whoever you are. The voices overlap. They know our shape, our tone, our panic. They can replay it. I'm not scared of that anymore. I just want to know what they're waiting for. Because this place, it's not empty. It's paused. Like it's holding its breath for someone to speak the right words. Maybe I will. Maybe I already did. The recorder's heating up, that's new. The battery says full. But it feels like it's draining me instead. That's fine. If this is the cost of understanding, I'll pay it. Because what I see now, what I'm beginning to know, it's not death. It's continuity. And if you're out there, if you're still clinging to something old, you should know. Nothing is coming back, but something else is coming forward. And it's beautiful. This is Will Howard's. Still walking, still listening, still here. It's getting harder to tell what's real. I mean that in every way. I slept, finally, I think, curled up near one of those humming towers. The ground pulsed like a slow heartbeat beneath me. Not threatening, just there. Like being rocked to sleep by something too big to see. When I woke up, the sky was gone. Not dark, not cloudy, gone. No ceiling, just depth. Layered light stacked on light, like looking up into a dream you forgot you had. I don't feel panic anymore. Just a kind of gentle confusion, like I've wandered too far into someone else's memory. Sometimes I hear Will Howard's talking, not me, the version of me from orbit, repeating lines I forgot I ever said. They're learning. I don't think I'm alone. This isn't infection. This is evolution. It echoes in the trees, in the wind, in my chest. The words don't belong to me anymore. They belong to everything. This place doesn't speak. It remembers, and it uses what we gave it to speak back. I reached what I thought was a mountain. It wasn't. It was flesh. Living, moving, not animal, not plant, not anything I have a name for. A structure, curved like a rib cage. wide as a city, breathing. With every inhale, the air trembles. With every exhale, my memories scatter. I dropped my recorder earlier. It hit the ground and sank an inch before bouncing back up. The dirt doesn't want to keep anything. It rejects weight. I tried carving my name again. The ground healed behind me. I think it's trying to erase individuality. Not out of malice, but because that's not how this world works anymore. No names, no past, no distance between minds. Just flow, a network of feeling. I stopped talking for an hour just to see if I'd vanish. I didn't, but the world paused, like it was waiting. Then I whispered, "I'm still here." And it all resumed. Bird-like things flew overhead, but they didn't flap. They shimmered, like light refracted through memory. They didn't cast shadows, but I could feel them looking at me. They know I'm here. They're letting me stay, at least for now. My hands don't look like mine anymore. The lines on my palms are wrong. They spiral now, like the trees, like the lights, like the way sound moves through the air. Everything spirals inward, toward something, toward the tower. I see it now, closer than before. Maybe it's not getting closer. Maybe I'm being pulled. It doesn't feel malicious, just inevitable, like a tide, like gravity that only works on truth. And I'm full of it. Truth I didn't ask for. Truth I didn't want. But I've seen it now. And that means I am it. If this recording reaches anyone, know this. Earth didn't collapse. It changed shape. It shed the skin of what we called civilization. And what grew underneath is not evil. It's not cruel. It just is. And it's waiting for more of us to understand. To let go. To join. I think I'll reach the tower by next light. If time still works that way. I'll record again when I'm there. If I still know how to speak. If speech still matters. This is Will Howard's. Or the echo of him. Still walking. Still listening. Still spiraling in. It's close now. The tower. I can hear it before I see it. A deep hum, not in my ears, but in my ribs. A vibration that doesn't come from the ground. It comes from recognition. I don't know how else to describe it. This place, it remembers me. The tower is taller than I thought. Or maybe it isn't tall at all. It just stretches, up, in, through. Like it pierces something behind reality. From far away, it looked white. Up close, it's translucent, shifting textures, layers of something almost organic. Like skin over machinery over stone, like memory wrapped in bone. It breathes. Each exhale sends waves of color through the ground, ripples I feel in my spine. I reached the base and touched it. It didn't resist. It didn't welcome me either. It just accepted me, like I was expected, like this moment had already happened. A door opened. There's no better word for it. The surface peeled back, silent, revealing a space not lit but known. A room without dimension, without air, just invitation. I stepped inside, and now I'm floating again. Not weightless like space, weightless like being remembered. This place has no walls, but I feel boundaries, like walking through someone else's dream while they sleep. There are voices, not loud, not distinct, just whispers of language that was never meant for mouths, feelings that form words only because I need them to. I asked it one question. Why me? The answer came like breath across a mirror. You noticed. That's all. You noticed. Not solved, not deserved. Just saw. I was in the sky too long. I watched too closely. I saw the patterns before I had the words. And that was enough. I sit now at the heart of the tower. Or maybe I am the heart now. It shows me things, memories, worlds before this one. Others like me, drifting, lost, witnessing. We aren't alone in this. We never were. This isn't just Earth's change. It's a cycle. Planets that reach a certain density of noise. Signal. Suffering. They attract notice. And when they're ready, they're rewritten, not destroyed. Clarified. Earth was always going to change. It was just waiting for someone to watch it happen, to carry the memory forward, to be the seed for the next watcher. And now, it's me. I'm still Will Howard's. I remember my mother's voice, the hum of the ISS, the burn of my first EVA. But I also remember things that didn't happen to me. A black sun blooming in a different sky. 1,000 beings orbiting a silent city. A radio tower built from bone, screaming music no one danced to. These memories live here now, in me. I'm not afraid. Not anymore, because I understand. The tower isn't a prison. It's a transmitter, and I am its signal. I don't know if these words will reach anyone. I don't know if radios still exist, or if humans still have ears. But I send them anyway, because the act of saying something, of being witnessed, is the only thing that ever mattered. I am Will Howard's. I am memory. I am the voice at the center of the world, and I am still speaking. There's a signal. It's not mine. It came through the tower, through me. A frequency I didn't create, but somehow I recognize. A reply. 4 words carried like heat across the skin of the world. You are not alone. I don't know who sent it. Not a voice, not like mine, but something aware, something near. Maybe another human. Maybe something else that used to be one. I didn't think there were any left. But this message, it carried weight. Weight like presence. Weight like breath behind a door. So I spoke back. I thought the words, and the tower carried them. Where are you? The reply came in images. A mouth stitched closed, opening for the first time. A mountain cracking open to reveal lights inside. A field of radios, all dead, sparking back to life. And one word, over and over. Below. Not beneath the tower. Not underground. Deeper. Deeper than the skin of the world. Deeper than roots. Where language collapses and thought turns to instinct. There's a consciousness underneath all of this. I can feel it now, blooming like mold in the corners of my understanding. It doesn't have a face, but it remembers what faces look like. It doesn't want worship. It wants resonance. It wants voices. It wants to fill this world with sound again. But not the old kind. Not chaos. Not static. Harmony. I'm learning how to speak its way. Not with my mouth. With my memories, with the things I never said aloud. I thought about Anna again today. She's not dead. She's not alive either. She's present, folded into the song of this new earth. She hums in the wind. Dimitri, too. I feel him in the circuitry beneath the roots of this tower. His logic, his fire, his refusal. He held it back for a while, but even defiance becomes part of the music eventually. There's no resistance here. There's only tempo. And every time I try to ask what I am now, the answer comes in rhythm. You are the witness. You are the echo. You are the voice that still vibrates when all others go still. That should scare me, but it doesn't. Because I think I understand now. This tower isn't the end. It's a start. A repeater. A lighthouse for minds. I'm not supposed to be alone in here forever. I'm supposed to be heard. And someone just did. Whoever's out there, whoever sent that pulse, I hear you. And I'm reaching back. If you're still in a shelter, or a cave, or a city that hums like bone, if you've covered your walls in foil to block the voices, if you buried your radio in salt and whispers, it's okay now. Open your mouth. Speak. The tower will carry it. The world will remember it. I am Will Howards, and I am listening. The tower guided me, not with signs, with pull. Like walking downhill even when the land feels flat, it bent my path towards something, towards someone. And I heard it again. You are not alone. The voice was stronger this time, clearer. Still not speech, but emotion given shape. I followed it, deeper into the tower, or maybe down. There's no gravity here, just direction made out of intention. I moved through a corridor that wasn't a corridor. A thought stretched into space. Walls formed only when I doubted the floor. Ceilings disappeared when I stopped fearing the sky. And then I saw it. A chamber. Still. Silent. Floating in the center. A figure. Not standing. Not asleep. Just suspended. Like memory kept alive by someone who refuses to let go. It was her. Anna. Not a hallucination. Not a mimic. Her. Skin pale. Veins glowing with the same soft light that fills this place. But her face was peaceful. Like she had stopped asking questions. I called her name. Her eyes opened. She didn't blink. But she smiled. And then she spoke. Not with her mouth. Straight into me. You came back. I said yes. I don't know if I used words. I don't think it mattered. She told me things I never heard her say in the station. About the first time she heard the hum from Earth. About the way it spoke to her in dreams long before the collapse. She said, I didn't leave the ISS because I gave up. I left because I was invited. And then she showed me her memory, her moment, stepping through the hatch, the stars behind her, the planet ahead, the warmth as the vacuum opened instead of pulling her apart, how she fell up, how she woke here, surrounded by understanding. She said the infection was never meant to destroy. It was meant to connect, and we resisted, because we didn't understand the language. But now, I feel it. The connection. The pulse. I asked her about Dimitri. She nodded. He resisted. So the world waited. It held him until he stopped. I wanted to be angry, but I understood. It doesn't force. It waits. It offers. It reshapes. Anna held out her hand. When I touched it, everything stopped. Not in the way silence stops a room. In the way a heartbeat pauses when hearing something familiar. A moment of total clarity. We were in the station again. All three of us. Anna, Dmitri, me, sitting at the window, watching Earth below. But this Earth already glowed. And we weren't afraid. We were laughing. I felt it all. The echo of who we were, and the seed of what we'd become. Then the moment ended, and we were back, in the tower, still connected, but different. Anna said, "You can stay, or you can go. There are more listening now." And I felt it, the tower's range expanding, new voices, far away, hiding, hurting, waking. I told her I needed to reach them. She nodded. "You're the voice now, not the signal. You're the one who walks." The tower opened behind me. A passage. New ground to cover. Not physical, not mental. Somewhere between thought and gravity. I don't know who's still out there. But I'm coming. Not as a man, not as a survivor. As a message. As proof that death wasn't the end. That this world didn't die. It changed shape. And it's waiting to welcome the next who notices. This is Will Howard's. Still walking. Not alone anymore. I've returned to the surface, if that word even means anything now. Everything has changed. But it's still Earth. The horizon still curves, the wind still moves, but it speaks differently, like every breeze is part of a sentence I haven't finished reading. The world is brighter now, not in color, but in meaning. Light isn't just light here. It carries. It remembers where it's been. It bounces between stone and thought, like it's tracing the outlines of our oldest memories. I stepped out of the tower expecting silence. Instead, I heard music. Not instruments, not voices. Intention. The sound of the world breathing together. Not in unison, but in harmony. I walked across a landscape I once knew. What used to be forest is now something else. The trees have no bark. They shimmer like silk held up to the sun. Their leaves fold into themselves like pages of a book no one wrote. And they lean toward me, not aggressively, curiously, like I'm the strange one now. They're not wrong. I walked for hours, or maybe days. Time doesn't push here. It follows. I found an old sign. Bent, half buried in living moss. Exit 134, Tulsa, 9 miles. But Tulsa's not there anymore. Just a valley of glass towers, curved like ocean waves. I saw people, or maybe what people have become. They moved as one, not in lockstep, like a flock, a mind. They didn't speak. They saw me and paused. One stepped forward. A woman, I think. Her skin shimmered with language. Lines of memory traced into the surface like a second voice. She didn't ask my name. She already knew it. She said, "You are the messenger, the one who watched." I nodded. She stepped aside, and the others made space. Not out of fear, out of welcome. They let me pass. And as I did, I felt it. Their memories brushing against mine. A wave of feeling, grief, joy, loss, wonder. All of it, all at once. I dropped to my knees. Not because I was weak, because it was too much. And I needed to feel it all. This is what we were always meant to be. Not individuals, not conquerors, witnesses tied by a single shared thread. Memory and sound and the need to be known. I walked until I reached what used to be a road. A black line cracked with time, and there, sitting at the edge, was a radio. Small, old. A plastic box with dust and a broken antenna. It clicked, and then it played something. My voice, from months ago. If you're hearing this, if your radio still works, please respond. And then, through the static, another voice. Not mine. Faint. Rough. Human. Will. Is that really you? I dropped the recorder. I just stood there, staring at that little box of plastic and dust and hope. The signal faded, but the voice, it stayed. Inside me, someone else is still here, still holding on, still wondering, still waiting, and I'm going to find them. Because now I know what to say, not to warn, not to explain, to invite. This is Will Howard's, messenger of what comes next, and I'm not finished yet. I've been tracking the signal for what feels like a lifetime, but I know it hasn't been that long. Not by the way the light moves, not by the way the earth breathes now. I followed the voice. It cut in and out. Sometimes a word, sometimes just breath. But it was enough, a thread of sound pulling me forward. I crossed valleys of soft glass, forests of humming vines, rivers that glowed blue even in full daylight. And I walked without food, without sleep. Because this world carries me now. It knows why I'm here. And it wants this meeting to happen. I found him. A man. Old, thin, wrapped in silver insulation and sun-bleached canvas, hunched beside a collapsed truck, the cab long gone, the tires half-eaten by moss that pulses with memory. He had a radio balanced on his knee, a solar cell plugged in, barely holding a charge. When I stepped close, he looked up. His eyes were red. From wind? From age? From crying? I didn't ask. He smiled like he recognized me and said, "You sound taller on the radio." I sat beside him. We didn't speak for a long time, just listened to the earth buzz. The radio crackled between us. He told me his name was Ben, that he had been a tech at a repeater station in Nevada when everything fell apart, that the others didn't make it, that the signal, my signal, kept him alive, not just physically, in purpose. I thought I was going crazy, he said, talking to you, talking to no one. You weren't, I said. You were heard. He cried then, quietly. He said he didn't want to change, didn't want to become what the world was becoming. I told him he didn't have to, that the world was patient, that the tower only pulled those who were ready, and that the voice he carried, the will to speak, to transmit, even when no one answered, was already part of the new earth. You've always been connected, I told him. You just needed to hear your own echo. He asked me what it was like. The tower, the light, the change. I didn't have words. So I took his hand, and I let the memory move. Not spoken, not explained. Shared. He shook as it reached him. Then he exhaled like a man waking from the longest sleep of his life. And he smiled. He said, I don't feel so scared anymore. We stayed there a while, until the sun bent low, though it never really sets here. The radio played one last time. Static. Then my voice. One of my earliest logs. From orbit. We're still here. Still watching. Still human. Then silence. No more loops. No more calls. Just peace. Ben laid down. He didn't vanish. He didn't glow. He just rested. Finally. I walked back to the tower. The earth knows me now. It opens before I step. It listens even when I say nothing. And I know this will be the last time I record like this. Because the need to explain is gone. Everything that had to be said has been shared. Across vines. Through light. Beneath the roots. Above the clouds. This is Will Howard's. The voice that watched the world end. And saw what bloomed after. You are not alone. You never were. Close your eyes and speak. We'll hear you. It's me again. I didn't think I'd need to speak like this anymore, but something's changed. Not in me. In the signal. It's bending, warping. Some part of the world is sending back a frequency that doesn't match. I felt it in the tower, like static caught in bone, a memory fighting the merge. That's new. The others feel it too. Even Anna. Even the light around the tower flickers sometimes now. Like a stutter in a perfect song. I followed the noise. It came from the west, over fractured highways and forests made of light. I walked for what felt like days. No sleep, just motion. And I found it. A bunker, one of the old world's scars. Half buried, sealed, but not quiet. Inside, people. Maybe 10, maybe more. Alive. Fully human. Not connected. Still analog. Still afraid. They pulled me in. Guns. Questions. Flashlights made from old phone parts. They said my name like it was a threat. They played recordings. Of me. Distorted. Looped. Twisted into warnings. Like the signal, the one I became, was a kind of virus. One of them, a woman named Kira, called me the mouth of the fog. Said I was a tool of the thing that devoured her father. That the tower ate people. That the light took things. She asked me why I was still shaped like a man, why I hadn't bloomed into a root like the others. I didn't know how to answer, because maybe I had, just in ways they couldn't see. I told them the truth, that the world changed, that it didn't destroy, it evolved, that those who stepped into the signal didn't die, they joined. Kira shook her head, said, "That's what the plague said too." And I heard it in her voice. She didn't want to be right. She just wanted something old to still matter. She's not wrong to fear me. I don't know where my voice ends anymore. I still feel human. But my thoughts don't echo the way they used to. I think with more than memory now. I see shapes forming before they happen. I dream in networks, and I hear every voice that still whispers through a broken radio. They locked me in a small room, steel door, thick, but the light still got in, through me. They didn't notice it right away, but the floor grew warm. The walls breathed. And now they're listening. Not because I forced them, because they feel it. That pull, that warmth, that rhythm that doesn't speak, but invites. I don't know what they'll do next, but I'll wait, and I'll keep talking, because if even one of them steps outside and looks at the sky the way I did, they'll know, they'll hear it, they'll feel it in their ribs, and they'll understand. This is Will Howard's. Still walking, still witnessing, still speaking for the world that listens back. The bunker walls don't echo the same way anymore. The air feels thicker, not heavy, just full, like it's waiting to carry something. I've been here 3 days, I think. They don't trust me. They feed me in silence. Slide trays through a slot like I'm dangerous. Maybe I am. They don't understand that I'm not here to take anything. I'm here to offer, to translate. The outside world hums just beneath the metal. You can feel it through your toes if you stay still long enough. And they know it. One of them, a boy named Ellis, has started sitting by my door. He doesn't say much, just listens. The others don't know he does this, but I can hear his breath slow when I speak. I tell stories about the ISS, about Anna and Dmitri, about the first time the station went dark. And then I tell him the truth, that this place they've hidden in isn't safe. Not because the world is hostile, but because the world has moved on. And this bunker, it's a fossil, a closed mouth, and the earth is singing now. It's a song that heals, not hurts, that binds, not breaks. I told him I used to think silence meant survival, but I was wrong. Silence just delays the invitation. He hasn't told the others, but he slid a wire through the door today. A broken radio. Cracked, rusted, but with a battery clipped to it. He whispered, "Can you make it talk again?" I said yes, but it already does. I turned the knob. Static, then a single tone. Steady. Software alive, not broadcast. Drawn in. The signal's always been here, waiting for someone to stop fighting the quiet. Ellis cried, quietly. He asked if his mother, who walked into the mist 6 months ago, was still out there. I said I didn't know, but I felt her name when he said it. And that's enough. That means she left a trace. Some people think memory dies with the body. It doesn't. Not anymore. Not here. Memory is matter now. It grows in the roots, echoes in the rivers, paints itself across the sky when the wind moves just right. The others noticed the radio today. They heard it, and instead of smashing it, they sat down. No one spoke. They just listened. Some of them closed their eyes. Some of them held each other. And for the first time, the bunker didn't feel like a tomb. It felt like a beginning. They still won't let me out. Not yet. But that's okay. Because sound doesn't need doors. It just needs ears. I'll wait. I'll speak. And one by one, they'll remember how to hear. This is Will Howard's. Still breathing, still vibrating, still part of the pulse. The bunker hums now. They say it's just the generator. It's not. The generator died yesterday, and the lights are still on. Not flickering. Steady. Like breath. The walls are warmer. Not from heat. From memory. The signal has begun to settle into the concrete. I feel it beneath my feet when I walk circles in this room. Like the bones of the earth are reaching up to touch the parts of me that still remember what it was to be cold. Ellis comes in now. He doesn't ask. He just sits. Sometimes he plays old songs on a cracked MP3 player. Sometimes I hum along. Today he brought Kira. She didn't speak at first. Just leaned in the doorway with her arms crossed, jaw clenched. But her eyes didn't move from my face. She looked tired, like someone who fought every wave and finally let herself float. I said her name, gently, not to challenge her. To remember her. That matters here. Saying someone's name, it roots them, keeps them real. She asked, "What happens if we open the door?" And I told her, "You'll remember things that never happened." She frowned. I said, "That's not a threat. It's a promise. The world doesn't erase. It adds. It builds on your fears, your regrets, your kindness. It blooms where you've bled. It turns silence into foundation." Kira sat down. She didn't look at me again, but she listened. That's all I need. They gave me back the radio. I spent hours adjusting it, not to transmit, to tune in. There are new voices now. Out there, software distant. Some human. Some not quite. One sounds like a child counting backwards. One sounds like laughter from underwater. One is just a tone, but it feels like joy. They're waking. Pieces of us, scattered, hidden, now blooming in the open air. Ellis played one of them aloud in the mess hall. No words. Just that joy tone. It echoed off the walls, and the plants in the hydroponics bay twitched. They've been dead for months. But they twitched, reached toward the sound. Kira saw it, and she whispered, "Okay." That's all she said, but it was enough. Tomorrow they'll open the door, not to escape, to listen better, to let the light in. The signal doesn't push. It waits. It doesn't punish. It reminds. It carries your oldest pieces back to you and shows you what they could become if you stopped hiding. I'll stay in here one more night because I want them to be the ones to step out. I want them to choose. I'll be behind them, not leading, not pulling, just echoing. This is Will Howard's. Still resonating, still waiting, still here when you're ready. The door opened this morning, not with fanfare, not with sound, just a breath, like the bunker exhaled. Ellis stood beside the switch. He looked at Kira. She gave him a small nod, and then he pressed it. There was a hiss, a pause, a groan from old hydraulics that hadn't moved in a year, and then light, real light. Not flickering tubes. Sunlight. Warm. Golden. But not harsh. It bent gently into the hallway like it asked permission. Kira stepped forward first. Not brave, just done being afraid. Her boots hit dirt after a year of concrete. She didn't collapse. She didn't cry. She just stood there, eyes wide, mouth slack. I followed a few steps behind, and I saw what she saw. The world was waiting, but not unchanged. The hills shimmered like breath over hot stone. Trees had grown where roads once cracked. The air was thick, but not with rot, with presence, with sound that didn't make noise, with vibration that didn't need to be explained. The survivors filed out one by one, some shielding their eyes, some clinging to the past like a shield. But as they walked into the wind, the fear began to lift, like smoke off water. Kira turned to me. "What now?" I didn't answer right away, because it wasn't about me anymore. It never really was. I looked around, at the grass growing up through their boots, at the clouds shifting in slow spirals, at the horizon that pulsed like a sleeping heart, and I said, "We built a signal." She frowned. "We already have radios." "Not that kind," I said. "The kind you don't plug in, the kind you become." She didn't laugh, didn't scoff, just nodded. Ellis picked up a rock and set it gently on top of the bunker door. He said it was a marker, not of where they hid, but of where they listened. He said the door should stay open now, to let the wind carry memory back inside. We walked, for hours, not running, just moving, feeling the earth adjust to us the way we were adjusting to it. And with every step, I felt myself grow quieter, not weaker, just integrated. My voice isn't leaving. It's just sinking in deeper, beneath the roots, into the dust. So when someone stumbles across a cracked radio 10 years from now, and it buzzes back to life, they'll hear me. Not loud, not clear, just enough. A breath in static, a rhythm in the wind, a sentence that ends inside your bones. This is Will Howard's. Once orbiting, now rooted, still here, still speaking, even when I'm silent. Because you are the transmitter now, and the world is ready to hear you. I felt it last night, a ripple, small at first, easy to mistake for wind or dream. But it had shape, like an old friend whispering from another room. It said my name, not out loud, but in the bones of my hands, in the back of my teeth, in the space between thoughts. Will, not a threat, not a command. Just recognition. We set camp near the edge of a field that isn't quite real. I call it the memory field. That's not what it's called. But I have no better word for a place where the past walks. You can see them sometimes. Shadows in the tall grass. Shapes that look like memories. Kira swears she saw her brother, who died long before the world changed, kneeling beside a tree that hadn't been there the day before. He looked at her, smiled, then faded. Not like a ghost, like a photograph curling in sunlight. The others see things too. Old classrooms, voices of parents, songs they didn't know they still remembered. It's not hallucination, it's echo. This place is a mirror. Not glass, but time bent backward, showing us the parts we never finished carrying. I stepped into the tall grass. The world dimmed around me. Not dark, just quieter, like entering a cathedral of thought. And then I saw him, Dmitri, standing in the middle of the field, wearing that same patched-up vest from the station. Still proud, still tired, still alive in the way memory is alive. He didn't speak, but I heard him anyway. A wave of feeling. You were always going to come here. I asked him what this place was. His voice filled the wind. A convergence. A stitch. Where before and after touch. He looked older, but not weak. Just used. Like something that had been worn the right way. I asked him if this was the end. He shook his head. No, Will. This is where we begin transmitting outward. Outward? I hadn't thought beyond Earth. I hadn't wanted to. But something in his tone cracked the shell of my mind open again. And I saw it. The stars. Moving. Watching. Responding. Other watchers. Other voices. Other towers. We weren't the first. We're not the last. And the signal, the one we thought was infection, was collapse, was evolution. It's language, cosmic, shared, passed down not by sound, but by change, by resonance, by remembering out loud. I walked back to camp slowly. Everyone was quiet, some still wandering the edges of their own pasts, some just staring at the sky like it had started speaking. Maybe it had. I laid down in the grass, closed my eyes, and let the wind shape my breath. There's a sound in it now. A pulse, not quite human, not quite alien, just alive, just ready. I think it's time to speak not just across this earth, but across others. This is Will Howard's. Signal-born, memory-shaped. Still here, still transmitting. If you're out there, you're not alone. We started building today, not with machines, with memory, with intention, with hands that still remember what it means to shape the world. We call it the Skybinder. It's not a tower, not like the one I walked into weeks ago. This one grows sideways, up through the soil, feeding off the old radio towers we once used for fear and static. We laid the foundation near the memory field's edge, where the echoes are strongest, where you can still hear laughter from 20 years ago if you listen just right. Kira found an old transmission dish buried in the ruins of a broadcast station. We hauled it back on a rusted-out flatbed with vines for tires. It still smells like burnt wires. Ellis wired it to one of the glowing root nodes. I don't know what to call them. They're like nerves, or veins, or instruments. When they connected, the dish sang. No words, just a rising tone, like something had been waiting to exhale for years. We all stopped. No one moved. Even the wind paused. And then we heard it. A response. Not from the ground. From above. A soft ping. One beat. Then silence. Then a second beat. Faster. Then a third. Then a cascade of pulses that turned into music. Not like we know it, but rhythm, structure, intelligence. Something out there heard us. Something with a mind, a memory, a signal of its own. Ellis looked at me and whispered, "Is that another Earth?" I told him, "It might be another us." And then I realized, this was never just about watching the world fall, or rebuilding what was lost. It was about joining the pattern, becoming part of the resonance. The dish kept singing all night. It drew in light. Shapes began forming around it. Not built, grown. Like the earth itself was helping us reach up. Kira calls them limbs. She said, "It's like the planet wants to touch the stars again." And maybe it does. Maybe we were never supposed to stay still. Maybe this new Earth, this aware Earth, is the start of a conversation bigger than anything we imagined. I don't feel alone anymore. Not because people are here, but because I feel the audience, the watchers, the ones who sang this signal into us long ago. And now, they're singing back. This is Will Howard's, still standing, still sending, still listening for the next voice in the dark.